All right, welcome back. The defense in the Lindsay Clancy trial rested their case in court this afternoon. The Massachusetts mom, who initially admitted to strangling her 3 kids to death in January 2023, but is now claiming insanity. Clancy's attorneys say she is the victim in this, suffering from a postpartum psychosis and bipolar disorder that was exacerbated by a dangerous cocktail of 13 powerful psychiatric medications. Clancy says that voices told her to kill her own children, and that she was failed by the system despite crying out for help. Prosecutors say the murders were deliberate and premeditated, alleging that Lindsay sent her husband out to pick up medication and takeout, giving her time. While he was gone, she strangled the 3 kids with exercise bands in the basement of their home. She then tried to commit suicide, cutting her wrists and jumping from a 2nd-story window. She survived that. The 2nd story is not high enough, but she paralyzed herself. She's in a wheelchair in the courtroom. Perhaps equally as terrifying, though, as the case itself is this video. Clancy's family has received over $1 million in donations on GoFundMe from supporters. She's become somewhat of a hero to thousands of women in this country, thousands of very deranged women who identify with a child killer. She's become like a cult hero. Crowds outside the courthouse every single day, some of them carrying their kids. How twisted is that? Taking pictures with her attorney and humiliating themselves on national TV.
I felt like the system failed her. She was begging for help, but no one was there.
I just wanted to support Lindsay and just say it could be, you know, one of my sister-in-laws, it could be one of my best friends, and it could be me.
The woman you see now is completely different from the woman who did that to her kids. She can be a wonderful, loving mother.
Just a reminder, this is a woman that strangled 3 children, her own 3 babies, 1, 2, 3 times. Amy Robbins is a Newsmax contributor and host of the Amy Robbins Show. Isabel Brown, host of the Isabel Brown Show. Ladies, Amy, I'll start with you. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. I mean, we've seen some deranged stuff. We saw with, O.J. Simpson, it turned into a black and white thing, and they were cheering for him. This is somebody's own babies.
Yeah.
I've never seen this.
Yeah, this is such a tragedy. We have seen moms do this, I mean, in the past, and this is horrific on all accounts, but we're seeing 2 parallel things happen right now. We are seeing the justice system trying to play out, where the jury is going to have to wrestle with, is this a psychosis event, or is this murder? But then we also have a larger scale issue going on within our entire culture, where we are seeing this moral inversion, where women are showing up at this court and they are cheering for this woman, and they're trying to basically turn this killer into the primary victim. And so I think this has sparked a national conversation where we're trying to figure out, where does compassion for the mental health of a mom end, and then where does justice for 3 murdered children begin?
I think that's a great question, Isabel. It's one thing, I think, to understand that this was a troubled woman. But it's also quite another when you do look at the facts of the case and you see that she planned, or at least prosecutors allege, and I think they have the evidence to support it, that she got her husband out of the house so that she could do this. This wasn't just like momentary insanity. I mean, she strangled 1 child, then she did another, then she did the 3rd. That has to be, allegedly, that has to be considered by these women that are standing outside cheering for her.
One would think, and certainly one would hope, I mean, the facts of this case are just unbelievably chilling, particularly as a young mom reading through the court documents, listening to so much of the testimony happening in the courtroom, and then horrifyingly seeing how women are responding to this on the internet. I'm seeing very little compassion and process for justice for these 3 children being called for online. And yet I can't tell you, Rob, how many thousands of posts I have seen on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram in the last 24 hours from women coming forward saying, same Lindsay, or I see myself in Lindsay, or that just as easily could have been me, spurring a national conversation about just how little American women seem to value the precious lives of our children, given the rampant abortion culture that we live in today. It is horrifying, and yet we've raised more than $1 million as a society for this woman who is now sitting in court, and thousands of women online are saying is innocent or deserves not to be punished at all for the methodical strangling of her own children.
I thought one of the best tweets I saw this week that really told the story of this was, if she had killed her dog, not one single woman would be outside of that courthouse supporting her. I think, Amy, that's dead on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will tell you this, that we are seeing this, not just in this case. I really do think that this is an indictment on our cultural as a whole, because you look at, they were doing the same thing with the Luigi Mangione case. They were making the killer the primary victim. And then we start to see these women, remember with the recent late-term abortion ruling in Minnesota, the women were applauding and cheering that that could happen. So this just goes to show you how much we have devalued life in our society and how we have this just crazy moral inversion going on. And we're seeing this across the span of everything nationally right now.
So that's so dead on. Amy, Isabel, thanks so much, ladies. We appreciate it. Twisted story. We'll see how this trial ends. You know, everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt Tonight on Newsmax.